Beruchim Abayim. Good evening, everybody. So we're going to do VAYESHEV part 2. The topics that we're going to cover today are the similarities between Tamar and the wife of Potifar, their approach, goal, and end result. They were very similar in their intentions. We'll study that. Number 2, was Joseph going to fall for Potiphar's wife? What caused the seduction? Number 3, why is Reuven compared to pleasant smelling flowers and the nerot of Hannukah to delicious fruits? And where do we get that source? And number 4, Bet Hillel versus Bet Shammai on Hannukah and how it relates to the brothers, the godly intervention. So to start, we just finished studying the sale of Yosef HaTzadik. And Yehuda, feeling that he was responsible, he ostracized himself. He left the group and he went his own way because he felt responsible. Because we know that if Yehuda would have said, we do not sell him, bring him back to daddy, they would have listened exactly to what Yehuda said. But since Yehuda was responsible, Reuven wasn't there, he went to tend to his father, Yehuda felt responsible, felt bad, and hence he went his own way. He married, and he had 3 sons: Onan, and Shelah. And married Tamar. Tamar, who was the granddaughter of Shem, great-granddaughter of Noah, married and passed away. He was wicked, he passed away. With a lot of the laws of Yibum, it's the brother that marries the widow. So Onan married Tamar, and he also sinned through Zera Levatala. He didn't want to ruin her beauty, and he died. The last one was Shelah. He was still young. Yehuda was afraid. Yehuda thought that Tamar was some sort of a curse, and he didn't want all his 3 sons to die because he had the nivuah, he had that instinct that he was going to be the ancestor of Mashiach ben David. The royalty will come out through Yehuda. It is written in the Zohar HaKadosh. The Zohar HaKadosh gives a Kabbalistic explanation. We see here that at this time, everybody is concerned about Joseph. Everybody is concerned about the story, how Joseph was sold to the Ishmaelim and then Egypt, and he's in with Potifar. Then we talk about Yaakov, how he's inconsolable for 22 years. We're going to study a little side note. We have Serach bat Asher, Serach's daughter of Asher. She used to sing to Yaakov to soothe him, and in the songs she would subliminally say that Yosef is still alive, and God did a miracle. God blessed her by giving her a very, very long life, even after the time of Moshe. So, what the Zohar is trying to say is that even though everybody's focused on Yosef and Yaakov, Yehuda, he's preoccupied and he's preparing the ground to create, to build, to plant his seed for the royalty of David HaMelech. That is the source of the Zohar. So, by saying that, if he gives Shelah to Tamar and Shelah dies, what happens? So he would procrastinate. He would tell Tamar, no, Shelah is still too young, he's still too young, leave him be. When he's going to grow up. Tamar knew that it was a ploy, and Tamar also knew and wanted to be part of this royal family. She had the kavanah, the pure kavanah, the same way we studied with Agar, the same way we studied with, Timna. Tamar wanted to be part of this royal family, so she dressed up as a harlot, as a prostitute, and Yehuda saw her and required her services, and Tamar got pregnant. Yehuda left. Tamar. It's very important to know that Yehuda did not recognize that it was Tamar. And later on, the people see that Tamar got pregnant, so she was sentenced to burning because she committed adultery, relation outside marriage, and so forth. So she was sentenced to death. She was sentenced to burn. She kept little things that Yehuda gave her. I don't have it in front of me, but there were 2 or 3 things that she had from Yehuda. And as she was going to die, she was going to be a Kiddush Hashem. She decided what she wanted. She wanted to be a part of Malchut Bet David. She wanted to be a part of the Malchut Yehuda. She wanted to be a part of Israel. She was going to go all the way. She was ready to die. She was ready to get burned for the cause. But she said, please give this to the man, to the person who impregnated me. And Yehuda saw, and Yehuda mentioned that it's true, I am the father, and Tamar was saved. Now to Potifar. Potifar's wife was very pretty, and she was attracted to Yosef. Yosef was 17, and again, he saw that power was coming to him, and whatever he did was good. It's written here in VAYESHEV, ויעזוב כל אשר לו ביד יוסף ולא ידע איתו מאומה כי אם הלחם אשר הוא אוכל ויהי יוסף יפה תואר ויפה מראה. We read before that, ויהי מאז הפקיד אותו בביתו ועל כל אשר יש לו ויברך אדוני את בית המצרי בגלל יוסף ויהי ברכת אדוני בכל אשר יש לו בבית ובשדה. So again we see that the beracha of Yosef followed him, and whoever was close to Yosef, Potifar especially, got rewarded. The problem is, look at this pasuk in Shishi. And if you guys have good memory, we heard this pasuk earlier. Vayhi achar hadevarim haele, ותישא אשת אדוניו את עיניה אל יוסף ותאמר שכבה עמי. ויהי אחר הדברים האלה. We learned this where? We learned this with Abraham. We learned this when Satan went to Hashem, told him to test Abraham. Then it's written, Vayi ahara devarim ha'ele. The same thing. And what is this? What are these ahara devarim ha'ele? It's written that Yosef was, again, very good looking, and he would make himself beautiful, and he would make himself attractive. And Rashi mentions it. I'm going to read it straight from Rashi. When he saw himself in a position of rulership, he began to eat and drink and curl his hair. Said God, your father is mourning. Yaakov is in mourning. And you curl your hair? Vayhi achara devarim ha'ele. I shall incite the bear against you. Immediately what happens? His master's wife, Potiphar's wife, laid her eyes upon Yosef. And that is the reason that Potiphar's wife all of a sudden, day in, day out, without relent, tried to seduce Yosef Atzadik. She would change her clothing, she would make herself pretty, she would have parties where Yosef would be the servant, and it's written that she did a party for the women of the community, and they were peeling carrots, they were peeling some sort of a vegetable, and they were so entranced, hypnotized by Yosef's beauty that they were peeling their own fingers and they didn't even know. So Potiphar's wife, going back to her, she also had nevuah, in quotes, it's not nevuah. she used astrology, she used the stars, and we know that Nevuah from Hashem and the stars have nothing to do with each other. Hashem is the real deal, and the stars, the Bnei Israel are over the stars, so they're looking at the stars, they're not reliable, they're not precise, and they could change. So she saw that she would also be part of this family of Yosef. Like Tamar wanted to be with Yehuda, Potiphar's wife wanted to be in the family of Yosef. But in reality, it was Potiphar's daughter that would marry Yosef and not Potiphar's wife. So again, she had the intention, but what is the difference between Tamar and Potiphar's wife now? Tamar, we know she wanted to go to death. She was ready to get burnt and not embarrass and not humiliate Yehuda in front of everybody. So she had genuine intention. Potiphar's wife, when Yosef left, and we'll answer the second question right now, Yosef at one point was seduced. Yosef is human. Yosef at one point almost fell for Potiphar's wife until Hashem made a miracle and Yaakov's face showed up. Yosef saw Yaakov's face. Yosef saw his father's face. And from here we know a child, when he sees his father's face, he thinks twice before sinning. He's afraid. And when he saw his face, he heard Yaakov, Ruach HaKodesh, obviously. He's like, your name will not be in the ephod and the tablets of the Kohanim. Your name will be associated to a harlot. Yosef heard that. He ran. He escaped. He went as fast as he could. Rabbi Nachman says the best way to beat temptation is to run away. But Potiphar's wife, she grabbed on to a cloth and she had it. Instead of letting it go, instead of hiding and not putting the blame on Yosef, the same way Tamar didn't do it on Yehuda, she said that Yosef wanted to sleep with me. She said that Yosef came on to me and I was afraid and I screamed. She lied. She didn't go all the way, the same way Tamar went. Tamar was genuine. Potiphar's wife, her intentions were okay, but she did not go all the way. Just to teach you also a lesson, the same way Yosef was punished with the cloth, he spent in jail 12 years. He spent in jail 12 years. The same way that the cloth that Potiphar's wife ripped, it's midah keneged midah from the cloth that Yaakov gave Yosef at the beginning of the Parashat Ketonet Pasim, because that cloth really cemented the hatred, the jealousy of the brothers with Yosef. Why is Reuven compared to pleasant smelling flowers and nerot Hannukah? הדודאים נתנו ריח, ועל פתחנו כל מגדים, חדשים גם ישנים, דודי צפנתי לך. We read that in Shir HaShirim on Shabbat, right before saying, Lechu Nerannena. So we compare Reuven, הדודאים נתנו ריח, ועל פתח כל מגדים, חדשים גם ישנים, דודי צפנתי. We compare Reuven to good smelling flowers. On the other hand, and this is all Midrash, on the other hand, Nerot Hannukah are equated to delicious fruits. What is the Midrash trying to say here? What is the Midrash trying to teach us here? It's all about Mesirat Nefesh. It's all about Kiddush Hashem. It's all about strength of character. It's very nice to have a nice smelling flower, but what could you do with it? You can't do much. Could you eat it? Could you cook it? No. But delicious fruits, not only do they smell good, but you could eat it. You could plant it. Reuven's intention was good. He said, do not kill him. Send him in the well, and we'll leave him there for him to come back and to save Yosef. His intentions were good, but when we came back, we all know that Yosef wasn't there. He was sold. And what did Reuven do? He tore his begadim and he mourned. And Reuven should have said, no, we do not kill Yosef. We do not sell Yosef. We bring him to Yaakov and we leave it at that. Mesirat nefesh. Even if it goes against the Beit Din, even if he's risking his own life, I defend my brother. Nerot Hannukah, delicious fruits. Maccabees, they were only 4,000 compared to 47 or 48,000 Syrian soldiers under the Greek Empire. That's Kiddush Hashem. They were the overwhelming underdog, and they still went with it, and they won, and they saved Am Yisrael. They liberated Bet HaMikdash. They cleaned it up. They did the Hannukah. That's Mesirat Nefesh that Reuven was not capable of doing. And when we read in Shir HaShirim, Aduddaim Natmureach Ve'al Petachenu Kol Megadim Hadashim Gam Yesharim Dodi Tzafan Tila. Remember that Reuven, even though his intentions were good, he didn't follow through. The Maccabees, their intentions were just, their intentions were strong, and they followed through until victory. Lastly, how can we not discuss Hannukah without including our very good friends Bet Hillel and Bet Shammai? There is a mahloket between Bet Hillel and Bet Shammai how to light the menorah. Even that, there's a mahloket between the scholars of Hillel and the scholars of Bet Shammai. Hillel is like we light one night, then 2 nights, then 3 nights, then 4, then 5, then 6, 7, 8, to show that the Kedusha, we always go upwards. Shammai is like, no, we do 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and etc. Here the Gemara, Eruvim 13b, relates that for 3 years the two schools argued, and one day a heavenly voice, Bat Kol, came down. A Bat Kol, just to explain to you, it's not the voice of Hashem. It's a voice that you think someone is saying to you, but it's heavenly. So again, it's very hidden, very tsanua. It's not something that, oh my God, I heard the Ruach HaKodesh or the word. No, Bat Kol, it's a voice that you think it's of a man, but in reality, it's from above. And so I was saying, heavenly voice, but Bnei Israel united. So to correct, but to keep Bnei Israel united, the halacha will follow Bet Hillel. We know that when Mashiach comes, it's going to be Bet Shammai. The reason we follow Bet Hillel, and they give the reason, is that Bet Hillel always argued with modesty and quoted the other school first. Bet Shammai was known to be very tough. Bet Hillel used modesty, and he was nicer and so forth. And just to connect the Bat Kol, there were 2 Bat Kols in VAYESHEV. And again, just to show you that the Bat Kol, even it's the minor of Ruach HaKodesh, the same thing, Maccabees were nothing but a few thousand soldiers in front of a massive empire, and they still won. The Bat Kol, I'll finish with this, came twice in Parashat VAYESHEV. The first time the Bat Kol appears in Parashat VAYESHEV is when the brothers conspire to kill Yosef. The brothers say, let us kill him and throw him into one of the pits. and say a wild animal killed him. Then we will see what his dreams will be. Rashi on the Pasuk explains that the part, then we will see what his dreams will be, was interjected, by a bat kol and not said by the brothers. So meaning that they heard a voice, it wasn't Ruach HaKodesh from Hashem, but they heard a voice that was of a man, but wasn't them, that said, you, my brothers, will see whose plans come true. Yours, of those of Hashem. So that's a bat kol that came in VAYESHEV. The second bat kol, it's the story of Yehuda and Tamar. It's written in Gemara, the Gemara Makot 33b states that Yehuda only said she is more righteous when Tamar came to give the three things, not to embarrass Yehuda and to say that it's Yehuda and to start to create a havoc. She, like I said, she just gave to the Bedin that was there the trinkets, the little things that Yehuda gave her, and Yehuda recognized her, and Yehuda says that she is more righteous. And Bat Kol interjected, she's like, yes, Yehuda, she is more righteous. But, let me see, interject the rest. Yehuda is saying that, just give me 1 second, guys, because again, I want to be perfect on the source. That he told Yehuda recognize those things that is own, and says, she is more righteous than I, for I have not given her to my son Shelah. He only said she is more righteous, but a bat kol came down and said the following, for I have not given her my son Shelah. And therefore a bat kol came and said, Mimeni yatzuk vuchim, from me will come people who will conquer the kings from Yehuda, who were the result of his union with Tamar. So Tamar gets fully redeemed from this whole saga. So we see that Yosef ends up in jail. Yaakov is mourning. The brothers are trying to console Yaakov. Yehuda is busy creating Malchut Yehuda, Malchut Bet David. And we are ready to go to Parashat Miketz, which we will see how the dreams and how the brothers meet with Yosef and how we're starting the teshuvah and repentance of the brothers. Shavua Tov, Shabbat Shalom, since Shabbat is tomorrow. Happy Hannukah, all the best. May the light of the menorahs bring the final redemption, and may we all be in Eretz HaKodesh. Amen. Amen.